So Adam and I are off to a good little project today. It's not too far away, just down the road in town. And we gotta drop a bunch of dead ash trees, I think a dead maple tree as well. And while we're there, we're gonna use the excavator to dig a test hole for a septic system. There's plans for a new septic system to go in, but before we get the permit, we need to determine our tea time, our percolation rate. So we're gonna dig a test hole over there, and then we get the inspector out, give us a tea time, get the permit, and then we'll be back later this summer to put the septic system in. So enjoy. Coming? All right, we're getting set up to do some tree work. We've got this dead sugar maple here to do. Hopefully we're gonna fell that into the woods. Gotta make sure it doesn't go in that direction. And then kind of back beside the building, we have a dead ash tree to deal with. Then there's a dead birch there. Some more ash trees back there. We got some ash trees in the woods to deal with. And there's more ash trees up front too, closer to the road. Get all those knocked down and bucked up. We'll supply some great firewood this winter. But these ones back here are the trickiest. They got some leans in the wrong directions. This ash tree beside the building, it's got a lean going parallel to the building, but we want it to go, we want to push it that way rather than that way. That way's got obstacles, got propane tank, building, other trees we want to maintain. So I'm going to drop it through here, try to get it through here without destroying the rest of the forest. And then there's some other, there's one big ash tree. There's a smaller ash tree there, bigger ash tree behind it. We'll get those coming this way, get those out of there. And then the proposed area for the septic system is going to be in here. So we'll be back to do a bunch of clearing once we get the septic permit. So we have to get the excavator back here to dig the test holes and see where we can locate the septic system, the weepers, the filtration bed. So it's gonna be a bit of a chore to get it back here, but this is probably one of the bigger ash trees we gotta do. It's probably, I don't know, 30 inches, 32 inches anyways. There's another one similar sized out front. Just for security. So I grabbed the blue rigging rope. So I just gave the tree a push there to see how much command on the stump that the excavator has to see if it could push it over once we notch it. I'm not confident in it, so we're gonna put a rigging line in it and we're gonna pull it over. We'll use our mechanical advantage and we'll get a rope much higher up in the tree. So we'll be no questioning then. We can just pull it over once we put our notch in and we know it's gonna go the direction we want it to. It's just gonna take 10 minutes, set up lines. But peace of mind and insurance. Mosquitoes are coming in. Okay, you can pull that slack out there, Adam. And then I'll go get that pink rigging line we got. Slack out. Okay, we got to go into the block there on the bottom of that spruce tree. And then we had to tie 2 rigging lines together. But we got lots of room to take up that slack before it hits that block. So we should be able to get that over. And then it's gonna drop right on our line probably, so we'll fight to get that back out, but that's part of the fun. So we'll put our notch in that and pull it over. because it's a back leaner, I'm gonna start with a thicker hinge. We're pulling it over with a machine, adding a lot of force to it, so don't want that hinge to snap. Come back towards me. Let's pull it over and see what happens. Starting to go now. Okay, the safest thing to do then is probably going to be to bring the excavator over, give it a push. All right, the next victim up today is this hard leaning ash tree. It's got a big lean in the desired direction, so we don't have to pull it backwards or anything, but we just gotta watch when we're making our cut that doesn't barber chair. So we're gonna cut our notch in, plunge cut in there, set our hinge, and then cut the trigger on the back, and hopefully get it right in this opening. Just trying not to smash this maple off here to the right side. And this maple's already got a big bend to it, so we'll take that out. and then the canopy will land right in this opening. See, like, it doesn't take much holding wood at the back to hold that tree. Like, I only had...
Straight on, it's not, there's no angle on it.
Yeah, I only had 1.5 inches of strap there.
Tree. Yeah.
And all that tension was just on that.
Yeah.
And really what was holding it was like, you know, you can feel the fibers here are stretched. So I cut in there and then eventually they snapped.
Oh, yeah.
Those ones are just
So
broken.
that didn't get cut there.
Yeah. Cool. So like it's only 1 inch of holding wood that holds that whole freaking tree up there.
Nice wood, this ash.
Yeah, that's a good piece to mill there.
Yeah.
sitting back on your bar now. All right, get out of there. Started to get worried it was gonna break off, but
sit back.
It just sat back a little bit. Yeah.
Did I go through the hinges?
No, I don't think so. There's still hinge there.
Probably just not straight.
It's just it's just so fair standing. It was just because you're over the center point of the tree,
so
right? So it just sat back.
Yeah.
All right, end of day one. We got a good stack of logs here. Still got lots more to do though. We got to take down that maple tomorrow, and still got to dig the test hole for the septic system, and a couple trees out front. There's a big ash tree and an ironwood out front. If we get time, we'll do these fir trees here too. But we'll start with that stuff. Go from there. Time to clean up. All right, there's our test hole. That's gonna help us determine our percolation rate for a septic system, the filtration bed. And we need to do that so we know what type of soil is underneath there. If it's a high clay content, sandy soil, topsoil, bedrock. But here's a pretty high clay content. so which will likely be a T time of 50, which is pretty high, meaning it's water's slow to infiltrate, which means we'll probably have a raised filter bed or some other type of system. But anyways, got that dug so the inspector can come by and have a look. Yeah, so we'll do this ironwood. It's like hanging over her garden and she wants to finish planting that. So I think we'll probably just try to push it over with the machine, like stump and everything, to get it to come this way. Because if we tried to notch it and hinge it, it'd probably just snap and fall over there. So we'll probably just try to push it over. And then this big ash tree, which I think we'll be able to wedge right through there.
Yeah.
Get it to fall in that. Yeah, get it to go fall in there. And then we'll have to pull it all out. I can go around there, I think, like underneath. Like this is all like super rocky here, so the excavator can't get in there. But we'll be able to drag it out with a rope this way, and then I can get down that way, I think. Get some of it cleaned up too. I think it should go that way, the wedge. Get this ironwood first. to go. It's like
I can see
it's like right on the borderline as it's going. You just hear it like tick, tick. Come on. Going. Nice. Okay, we're up at the last couple trees for the day. We just got our throw line in there. And we're putting the rigging line in so we can pull this into the woods. And we're gonna have to do it in two pieces. We're gonna pull this one half this way, and then we're gonna push the other one off to the right. We don't want to fall it as one just because it has this seam, and it might break and go two different directions. We're trying to fall it, so we don't want it to go that way, but pretty much everywhere else is fair game. Okay, that goes. Bullseye. A little skeptical it's going to go through this stuff it's on, but oh god. Well, the hinge broke out when Adam was cutting it there. We wanted it to go through there. and they went right over there, which is fine. But the hinge was just it's just too punky. It wasn't enough good holding wood. You see it just snap. There's no fibers there. So it should look like this. All strong fibers. But this is just like a piece of dry bread. No strength in it. So it just released at that codominant stem and went right. But it's fine in this situation. And if there was anything to break, we wouldn't have risked that. But now we'll tidy this up and get out of here. That's it for this site for now. Adam and I are gonna finish getting cleaned up, getting the truck loaded up, and get out of here. But we'll be back here again this summer, do some more tree work, and install a septic system. So, thanks for coming by. See you next time.